Hey guys, so today I'm going to do, not really like a card or scrapbooking tutorial. It's going to be a mixed media tutorial. So I have this XL series by Canson mixed media pad. I got it from Aaron Brothers, and let me see here. It's the, sorry if you hear my dog, it is 98 pounds. And it comes with 60 sheets, and it's the 7x10, and I got this when they had that buy one get one for a penny deal. So I got this, and that's what we're going to be using. So the reason why I'm going to be doing or working on this mixed media book, sorry if you heard that, that was my little heater here, is because I have these 7 Gypsies naked tags that I got from Joann's, and they were I got them when they were having their scrapbook sale, and they were like, these were like $2.50, and they come with 20 naked tags, and they're perfect for altering, you can see. And what I did was, I already covered up my tags. Now I didn't do the backs because they're not going to be showing anyway, so I didn't want to just waste paper and cover them. But I covered up the front pieces with some pattern paper scraps that I had. It was just a Recollections paper pad. And so I just covered up the tags, and I know that I want to use these 6 because I know that they'll fit going across this way like that. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with this, but I do have these, and I do have some colors already chosen out, and I'll be showing you my palette right now. So it is a little bit messy. This is my palette here. I also got this when you buy one get one for a penny, but this wasn't part of the penny thing. But I just bought one. It's the Reeves Tear Off Palettes, and I love this palette. Now, you could see this is all dried up paint, but my fresh paints here I just chose was like a aqua color. It's like a green color, a green bluish color. Some gesso, some dark brown, some light orange, light yellow, grays, and a craft color. So that's how that looks. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the paints, but that's what I'm going to be starting off with. So I'm just going to open up to a fresh page here. There's pages that I actually just didn't even finish in here, but we'll be starting on the back of some unfinished pages, and we'll start off fresh. So I don't know if the lighting is good or not. I mean, it is like 10 in the morning here, but it's a little bit gloomy, and I just don't want this light to make the colors look a little bit weird, so hopefully my light will help out. So I forgot one, that's my gloss gel medium. So I'm going to use this to kind of adhere the tags down just because these are a little bit thick. I use just a washable school glue stick just to adhere them down. I'm pretty sure that this is acid free, there usually are. But I'm just going to seal them with some Liquitex Basics Gloss Gel Medium. And I'm just going to, you know, figure out where I'm going to put these. I don't want to do anything to the background because I don't want it to be, I don't want these tags to get lost in the back. So we'll do the painting over it. So I'm just going to quickly figure out where I want these tags. Now I know that I want, you know, these two that have the most color on them separated so that way they're not, you know, it evens out the eye, I guess you could say. It doesn't make the eye get all tired. I don't really know the right terminology, but yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, I want the colors to be separated, so I have a dark tag here, and then this one has just more of like a pattern going on. So, yeah, I'll do it like that. So that's how the layout's going to be looking like, I guess. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some Gloss Gel Medium. Now, I haven't used this. This is actually brand new. Again, I got this from Aaron Brothers. So I'm just going to put some here. I don't know how much I'm supposed to put, but I'm just going to take some, and I'm going to use my brush. I'm going to use a bigger brush here. Not that big. Much difference, but oops, yeah, that was a lot. Okay. So I'm just going to try to get this spread out here. And I'm not going to put any gloss gel medium on top because I don't want my tags to be non-resistant to paint. I do want it to kind of pick it up a little bit. So I'm just going to adhere these down. I'm not even sure if I'm, you know, putting these out evenly. But I'm just going to try to move them around while I can. Because I know gloss gel medium is a little bit, yeah, see, so it does stick, I mean, it does get dry pretty quickly. So I'm just trying to even my tags out. I'm not trying to make them perfect, but I don't want them to be too close or too far. Okay, so I'm just going to stick these down. So now that I have these, you know, where I want them, now I know where to put the rest. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. I don't even think I'm going to need all that. Now, I wasn't really into this whole painting stuff, but when I started watching Donna Downey, she is a big inspiration. So if you want to go and watch her, you probably love her videos. She does her videos every Wednesday, which is Inspiration Wednesday, so it makes sense. And I am going to put this back. I mean, I don't want to waste it because when I went there, I was trying to buy a whole lot more of this gel medium, and they only had one, so I'm just going to try to save here because I don't want to waste any of this. Okay, yeah, that's not going to work out, so I'll probably just use that on something else. Off camera. So you can see I have a huge glob here, and I don't want to seal it on top. I might just use that and put it on a little bit of just a little bit on top of them. And then with the rest of this gel medium that's on my brush, I'm just gonna coat some parts of the tags. I'm not even gonna do a whole lot. So that way some of the tag is, you know, resisting the paint, and then other parts of the tag is just gonna take it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let this dry. I'm gonna use my heat tool to just dry it up a little bit, and I'm gonna just water it down my brush before it gets all hard and nasty. So I'm pretty sure that most of my tags got some kind of gel medium on it, so I'm not gonna worry about it. So I'm just gonna use, I have a Darice heat tool. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to make just to tone, you know, put the colors down a little bit. I'm just going to make like a wash, a white wash type thing. So I'm just going to take my palette and I'm just going to take the gesso and I'm going to just grab my card here because I don't want all of it to be watered down. I'm just going to put some here. And what I'm going to do, I know I'm making a mess of my palette, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spray bottle. I just have a spray bottle with water. And I'm just going to spray straight on here and just water it down. And I'm just going to take a paintbrush. And even with the water on the paintbrush, it's going to just water it down. So I'm just going to move this out of the way here. So that way. So I'm just going to lightly coat this. And before it dries, I'm just going to pat it off a little. Again, I'm not trying to cover it all up. I'm just trying to, you know, lighten up the color, trying to fade it away a little bit so that way when I paint over it, it shows through just a little bit. So I'm just taking a rag, a dirty, dirty rag, and I'm just lightly putting this wash on top. Okay. So I'm just going to Okay, and because it is very watery, it's a watery consistency, I'm not going to worry too much about it drying because I'm pretty sure it's going to dry really fast. Sorry if you heard that. Inside voice. Good boy. Okay, so sorry, he just saw somebody outside our window and just heard the other dogs barking, so he followed, of course. But now it's just a little bit more not watered down, but it's more, it's not as bright as it was before. So I'll show you, because I have patterns here. I'll just do the bright pattern. Sorry, I'm still in my pajamas. Okay, so this is how that looks. This is just the normal color, and then this is it after the wash. I don't know if you could tell the difference, but there is a difference. It's not a huge difference, but it's a pretty big difference. I mean, not a pretty big difference, it's just, you could tell that it's just not its original color. So, now what I'm going to do, which I don't know, I'm not quite sure about what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring my palette back in, because I do want it a little bit closer to me. And I'm just going to take some paints. Now, I do want this outer edge to be a little bit, dark, and not like scary dark, but kind of like, let me see here, what's the good word, just to be a little bit more distressed, I guess. And so I'm just going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to water this brown down also, just a little bit. So I'm just going to, I like to drag some paint because sometimes I don't want the whole thing to be watered down. So I just bring a little bit and I water it down. So I just used a scrap, which is a calendar sheet, and I'm just putting it here to protect my other pages because I know that I don't want brown on those. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush and just kind of go around the edges now. And I'm going to let it drip. So once I get this on here, I'm just going to let it drip a little bit. I'm not going to let it drip a whole lot, not like dramatic dripping, but I'm just going to do a little bit. So I don't know if you could see how that is working out there. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. Sorry if you can't see using my phone, so it's not really high. Okay. So while I let that dry, I'm just going to think about what I'm going to do next, and then I'll come back. Okay, so it's not fully dry, but it's dry enough kind of to work in the center and do all that stuff. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. So I think I'm just going to grab some turquoise, like this really light color, which is like this color. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going to take some of that, and I'm probably just going to go around a couple of them, and I'm going to use the orange and the yellow as well. So I'm just going to take my finger. It's the best tool to have, which I'm pretty sure everybody has. And I'm just going to go over it, and I'm just going to take some white as well and just kind of blend that in here. I don't want it to be too over dramatic. So you can see that the brown is still a little bit wet, but that's okay. I'm just going to wipe my fingers here. I'm just going to water it down because I don't really want all of that on there. So I'm just going to go a little bit more paint. So again, because we have that gel medium, it's letting us take some of that paint off that we don't want, which is good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that that's going to dry pretty fast as well, because acrylic paints do dry up quick. So I'm just going to rub that off a little. Let's see, what am I going to do next? So I'm just going to use some stencils, I guess. So I have a couple here. These are just by Darice. And I cut them. They came in full sheets, but because there's only, this was the only pattern that was in the 4 sheets, I just cut it so that way I can use it a little bit easier. So because there's polka dots, I do want to bring that in. to this side, so I'm just going to take some of that craft color, and I'm just going to use my finger and just kind of rub it on here. Now, I'm not trying to make it perfect or anything like that. So it just, I don't know if you could see it on my phone here. It's going to catch it. But you could see that it's just a really light tone. And I would use some of my modeling paste, but it takes a while to dry. I only use that on my canvases. I don't really, I mean, I used some of it on my book, but I also use some coarse texture, but just because I don't want it to take a while to dry, I don't think I'm going to use that. So I'm just bringing in some polka dots here. And then I have these larger ones, and I think I'm going to overlap them and then try to make a little pattern using that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my heat tool and I'm just going to dry it really quick. Okay, so it's pretty dry, so I'm just going to take this, and this time I'm going to use a spouncer, and this is a 1 1/4 inch spouncer, and you can see it's a little bit dirty, but it's still spongy. I'm just going to take some of these large ones, and I'm just going to take some gray, and I'm just going to bounce it onto my thing here. Oops, my thing is closing on me, which I don't want. Okay, so again, there's just those polka dots. I don't know if it's getting it on here. Right there, those gray ones. So I'm just going to do that up here as well. And I might do some turquoise mixed in there. Just going to get that a little bit on there. I'm not trying to make them perfect, so I love how that looks. It's kind of like a gradient effect. Okay, so again, I just have this bottom one here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do some turquoise and gray. And I have some hearts. I do want to bring some of these in, but I'm going to use that orange color, and I'm going to just bring some in there. So I think I'm done with this bouncer here. Pretty good. So that's how that looks. And then what I'm going to do next, let me see here. Let's see. I have this. My black spray bottle. So I have a spray bottle that is filled with black paint and water, but this is black paint and alcohol, so it's a little bit, it's not as vibrant as that one, but I'm just going to use it, so that way at least I'm not struggling. So I'm just going to do a spray there. I mean, I really don't want too much black, but you could see that really got on there, so I mean, it's not bad, but oh, I missed. Oh, that actually looks nice, so I think I'm going to do that. Ugh, there we go. I actually like the huge black, like, clutters, so I'm just going to do that a couple times here. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry. Sorry about that. So I'm not sure if I really want this whole thing to be like thick, so I'm just gonna like pat it off. I mean, it's really thick, so I'm just patting off the color. Okay, so it looks like I just made a huge ugly mess on my thing, so what I'm going to do is I'm just probably going to try to cover that up with a couple of punches, maybe some doilies. So I have this basic gray doily. It's a laser cut. And I got this from Big Lots for like $1 a while ago though. It was like 2-3 years ago. I just never knew what to do with it. I'm not too worried about the colors because I could paint over it. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear it and just use whatever comes off. And I'm just going to adhere it. I don't know if I should. Let's see. Again, I'm not trying to take away, too much attention for the tags, but I just want a little bit more texture. So this one I'm just going to use some Collage. This is by Tracy Bautista. Now she has a YouTube page as well, and you should check her out. It's Trace Designs. It's TREIC Designs, and I love her videos as well. And she has her own Collage. I got this from Joann's. It's about $10. It's 16 ounces, and it's just a really thin glue for collage. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that. I really love it. So, and it's a gloss finish. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush that I use with my gloss gel medium. So that way I can just have them all part of that. I'm just going to stick this down. And then I'm going to seal that down. And then this one as well. Just want that to be sealed. Okay, so I'm just going to water that, and then I'm just going to put some color on there, so I'm just going to take some yellow, just kind of put it on there. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do, some laser cuts there, some type of texture. I have some punches also that I might use some scrap papers, and I might do some punching, so I have 2 butterfly punches. And it's a 1-inch butterfly, I think, and a 2-inch. And I'm going to just take some pattern papers. So this is just some scraps from one collection. And I'm just going to take some. And I think I like this wood grain pattern. So I'm just going to take my large butterfly punch, and I'm just going to punch the butterfly out. And I think I'm just going to stick that there, and then we'll have another one. And then I'll probably also do a small butterfly, but I might do that with a different pattern. Should I do some bright red? Yeah, so I might do that. So I'm just going to use, again, some Collage for that. Let me see. I still have a lot of paint on my palette left, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through my sticker stash and use up my stickers, because I also, have a bunch of stickers. Sorry. I just have all these cases here full of stickers, so I don't think a mustache will even work with this page, but because of the colors, I just love how it looks. So I might just use some mustaches. I have some rub-ons, but too many. So I've seen her use these because I also, when I found these, I bought a bunch. So she has these tiny alphas by Making Memories. I believe these are the ones she has. But because I have them also, I'm going to use them the way she did. Now I am going to use some mustaches for sure. So I'm just going to mess with my mustaches first. And I might do this cute one here. So you can tell I'm just throwing things on here now. I'm just trying to make this page look a little cute. I'm just kind of experimenting, I guess you could say. I'm not really being too precise or trying to make it look pretty, I guess. I mean, I can't be as good as Donna Downey, but I am trying to do what I can. So, hopefully those are lined up. And the glue is still a little bit wet on there, so hopefully that'll dry up and glue that down. So now what I'm going to do is take my tiny alphas, and these are the white on black, and then what she does, she takes the backing off. And, okay, so some numbers stuck, but most of them didn't, and so it's sticky there. And then what she does is she'll take some, and she'll just press down on them, kind of like a rub-on, and she'll pull, so yeah, there you go. And it kind of just adds some texture. And I got a couple on my fingers here, so I'm just going to randomly place them there. They're all wise. Just grab a little bit more. Just a couple more. And I don't think these ones are going to stick because it is still a little bit moist. Got a couple down. I like how that came out. Just a little bit collage. Or not collage, but cluttered. I'll do the same thing here. So they're sticking onto my fingers. It's just the way that I'm holding onto them. So I'm just going to randomly put them on here. Just like that. So that's how this is starting to look. I hope it's starting to look good. I mean, I think it is. I think it's really cute looking. So I'm just going to start taking some more of these stickers and just kind of randomly placing them there. Because I like how it's turning out. And I still need something to put on here. I feel like I need a quote or something. So I'll probably try to figure that out too while I'm trying to stick these on. Okay, and I don't know if she stores hers back because she probably just has way too many that she doesn't want to. But I am going to try my best to stick this back on. Oh, that's pretty good. And so now I can reuse that. Once I get all those letters done, I'll probably stick that onto a random page. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some Collage Page over these so that way they don't pull up. So it's pretty dry. It's not all the way dry, but it's pretty dry. So what I'm going to do next... Sorry, just trying to wipe it off the stickers because I know that some of these, it's a glossy sticker, so it's not going to really stick. But I have some calligraphy ink. Now this is just some of it. It's a big bottle, but I only put a little bit in here. And I have a little dropper thing that came with like this little kit that I had. And I'm just going to put some in here. And I'm just going to like make a circle if I can. And I'm not pushing so hard on it. Okay, so it's trying to get into that little thing there, so I'm going to just try to get that on in here. because I don't want it going all the way there. So I'm just going to let it drip a little. And then now I'm going to let that dry because that actually looks nice. And then I'm going to do my little quote inside. And she also does tags where she puts the date on. So I might do that also. So I'm going to look through my tags, or my stash of tags, and I'll probably use those. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's pretty dry. It's not fully dry, but I'm going to just put my quote in there. And then instead of a tag, I have this little scrap piece of just some paper, like the little kindergartners that they write on. This was like a pattern paper, and I'm just going to do the date on here. I actually like how that looks. And so I'm just going to use my little smash thing that I have, and I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to put, I love this, I guess, because I do really like this page out of my whole book. My other book, I mean the other pages, they're good, but I love how I use the tags. So this is February the 21st, I believe, 2013. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp that on here, and I'm just going to use some Memento. And I'm just going to use some Memento black ink. Just going to ink that up. And when it doesn't stamp nicely, I sometimes just stamp it a couple of times until I get it. And I mean, I like the way that it looks when it's messy, so I don't really mind. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make this into a banner. So I'm just going to cut this into one. Okay. And I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. I can get don't really want to cover up those pieces there. But she likes to staple hers in, so that's what I'm going to do. I don't have a tiny catcher, but I have staplers that do have a small staple. But this is a cool stapler. I actually got this from like my local Japanese store. Now, what it does is like you just, to open it, you push forward, and then to close it, you pull back. But you push it, and then when it's closed, it's flat like this. But then when you push it forward, it turns into a stapler. I don't know. I find that pretty cool. So, and I just want to make sure that the staples aren't going to intrude into my other page, but it's not. So I'm just going to do that a couple times, and I know 3 is always the best. And I don't know if I should glue that down just a little bit, but I might, so sorry about that. And I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm just going to use it as a glue, and I'm just going to stick that down. So I used it pretty much like it was liquid glue. Okay, so now all I need to do is my quote. And because I have just a limited amount of space, I wanted just to put something that popped up in my head. I couldn't really look online because my phone, I didn't want to take it off the tripod because the way that it's set up is just a little bit weird. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let me see, I don't know if I should use my calligraphy ink or just a marker. I might just use a marker. So I just have a Bic marker. I don't know if this is actually going to work because sometimes it runs out of ink when it writes onto certain surfaces, but we could try. I have a bunch of them, so I like to use the Bic Market ones, and this is just a tuxedo black. And I'm just going to use it and put live each day like it's the last. So I'm pretty sure you guys heard that before. So I'm just going to put that on here. I don't know how I'm going to write it. So I'm just going to keep it. And the last thing I'm going to do, because I still have, like, if you look at my palette, I still have a lot of paint left. I really thought that I was going to use a whole lot. But I'm just going to take my finger, because this looks a little bit plain to me, so I'm just going to go over it. And of course I'm using the orange. So that's what I'm going to do, just to tie it in, and then we'll do some blue at the edge. And I guess some gray. Yeah, so that looks nice. So this is my finished page. I know it looks very messy. I tried to make it look pretty nice, I guess. Not very messy. But I like the way that it turned out. And there will be pictures posted at the end of the video just to give you a closer look at it, because I'm using my phone, so it's a very small space to be showing. And that's pretty much it. But I am going to show you what I do with my extra paint. I'm pretty sure all of you guys do this. Okay, sorry about that. So for some reason, like, my phone is just full of like videos that I haven't even posted, so I had to delete some. But I'll just do a share about the things that I made in those videos. And my storage is just full because I have a lot of photo apps, so I had to delete some. But yeah, so again, like this page, I actually just wanted to keep it. I was just trying out my new stamps that I had, and so I'm just going to keep that page. But because this page I'm really not too fond of, which is this right here with the weird colors, and like this one, it was like Valentine's Day for this one. I really don't like that either. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover it up with all the extra paint. That's all I do. I just take like a credit card or something and I just do that. And there was one thing that I did want to add that I didn't add, and that's just some of this Tulip Stick or Slick dimensional fabric paint. And I keep the cap off because I lost it, but just to give it some texture, I was going to go around that. But now I just thought about it and I don't want to. So, wow. Okay, but yeah, that's all I do with my extra paints. I don't switch any books or anything like that. I don't put it into any other journals that I have. I just leave it into here so that way I have some backgrounds to work with. Like these ones, like this one, I was just practicing on like cut shapes and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't like the colors on it or anything like that, so I'm going to cover that up with paint. Now these ones already have quotes on them, so I'm not going to really do much with it. But yeah, so I've been talking for way too long. But this is the page, and again, there's going to be pictures at the end of the video, and I'll probably be posting, hopefully, because I keep saying this, a video, like a share video, I guess, of the projects I made with the videos that I had to delete just now, because I just recorded one yesterday, but it took up a lot of space. So, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that this, got you guys to want to do something different that's out of your zone. And thanks for watching, and I hope I could get this video up and some shares up as well.